What is going on, everybody? We are happy to be back, My Roofer Toolkit. We are excited to be back after, about a month hiatus
A
or so?
month, yeah. I think
Man, it has
we
been a
were
crazy
grinding.
month. It has been a crazy month. A good, really, really good month, though. It has allowed us to step back and make sure that we are bringing everything that we can of value to you. So excited today. We were supposed to have Kareem Hunter on. We had a little bit of schedule crossing. So we are shifting gears today. If you're out there, man, don't hesitate.
Love
You
to
have
have
the
you
link.
on. Jump
Jump
in.
on. We'll bring you in. We'll shift gears, whatever we need to do. But yeah, today we're going to shift gears a little bit, and we are going to talk about the anatomy of a web page. We've been scouring through the roofing groups on Facebook, and we've seen a lot of people talking about, do I need a web page? What makes a good web page, and questions along those lines.
Is a website even worth it?
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
I mean, let's be real. We're digital marketers. We believe it's worth it, but the data shows that there is a lot of reasons why you should have a website if you don't already have one. Why you should have a good website as well. For me, the biggest thing I know when I go looking for a business, right? If their only presence is a Facebook page or a LinkedIn page, and they don't have a website, I am moving past them quickly.
Absolutely.
And moving on to the next person. So it's a little bit about authority and presence. Good, successful businesses, everybody has a web page now. And so if you're not in that space, people will look past you. So
you have to be on the same level or better than your competition. So if your competition's got a web page, if your competition has, a truck wrap or signs out in the yard, like, you got to be doing at least the same thing to keep up and be on the same playing field. And same like whether we're going, out to eat or deciding on, somewhere like a furniture store to shop at or any of that kind of stuff, whatever you're doing and, that you're going to buy something or purchase something or get a service. It's true. Yeah. If they just have a Google listing, but no website, I'm like, okay, how do I find out about these people other than a one paragraph description and hours of operation? So having a website that really gives a message of what your company does and why they do it is important.
Yeah, I agree. It's almost like a digital business card anymore. It's a brochure, but it's so far beyond that because now we're actually making, very educated purchasing decisions from them. We've talked about that in nauseance in the past. So I think today the big thing we really want to talk about is more so the anatomy of what makes a really good web page, because there's web pages and then there's good web pages.
There's websites and then there's websites. Which one are you? Yeah, right. Absolutely. Yeah. And we're going to go over a client we just recently did a website for, and we designed it and developed it, and they've already seen some good, good increases from the data. So we'll go over the data, we'll go over the website and the data, and this will kind of be like a case study to show you guys, what's going on, what happens when you change your website.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that up on the screen. We'll make it big for everybody. So this is Modern Roof Co. Modern Roof Co. Hopefully you're out there. If not, we'll definitely share this with you. Yep. Great company out of Colorado, out in the Denver area. Mm-hmm. Like Josh said, we just redid their website not too long ago, and it has definitely been a big step up for them. So let's talk about this is what you see when you type in their web address or when you pop in on Google. This is what you see, and Josh, take us through this. What makes this really a solid display for a potential customer?
Yeah, so the big thing is, the big thing I see is a beautiful coated roof right there on the it looks like inner tape, so I-tape polymer group building right there, and it looks beautiful compared to the one right next door to it, right? So that's a project they completed, and it's a commercial roofing project, and so that stands out. Then you have the logo up there in the top of the website. You got the phone number on the right, and request a free quote. So it's not cluttered. There's not a million different things like BBB, A++, all that stuff to distract you from what they actually want you to do, which is call or request a quote, Then you have a nice CTA right there, the commercial roofing experts experience the difference is the tagline. Then as you scroll down just a little bit, and that's the hero section right there. So then as you scroll down just a little bit, you get a couple of services, and you have some, calls to action right there. You have commercial roofing and residential roofing. So there's not 50 services there to choose from and a whole regurgitated list of we do this. It's, do you need commercial roofing or do you need residential roofing? Talk to an expert, get a quote, right? So commercial roofing, they're going to talk to somebody. They're going to request an RFP. It might be a project manager, a building manager, a property manager, right? So they're going to want to talk to somebody in the commercial roofing division. If it's residential, they just might want a quote. But either way, yeah, it gives a good call to action for those two services. Then right after that, Adam, you want to cover that?
Yeah, so we moved in and put a little bit of display about what they do. This is a video that they have put together to talk about their company and the services that they provide. But what's critical here is we have these nice colored boxes. Mm-hmm. And then it moves into this white space. So you have a contrasting color. It clearly defines it as a new section instead of just spilling over the whole one page, all the same color thing, mm-hmm. Which sometimes makes it hard to understand what the flow of the page is. So as we keep going down, again, we're bringing back in things like commercial roofing, residential roofing. Now we're talking about multifamily roofing and their experience. So another clear section about what they do and who they are.
Yep. And you got 3 services there. And what I like about that is if you scroll up a little bit, so each of those services, commercial, residential, multifamily, have an image behind it that's clearly visible. And the text isn't, because we talk about this all the time, but if you're going to put text on top of an image, make sure it's clearly visible and doesn't interfere. Make sure the picture doesn't interfere with the text. So we've got a very simple 3 service, heading for each one, and it shows the image behind it. So it makes it very clear what they do. Yep. Go ahead.
I was going to say the other thing to point out is that you'll see different images throughout the entire site as well. That's one of the things we see quite frequently is we'll see somebody use the same image 6 or 7 times throughout their site. Stock photography, it's free, it's easy to get a hold of, and it's great. But you have to use different images too, because people will notice that you just use the same picture of the same house in a whole bunch of different spots.
Yep. And for SEO purposes too, I mean, Google's crawling your site, it's crawling the images. If you use the same images over and over, it's like spamming the same keyword over and over.
Yep.
So yeah, it doesn't necessarily help you.
Yeah, so we move into, again, a little bit more detail about the different roofing services that they offer. So we got commercial roofing and residential roofing. And again, there's call to action buttons. One thing that we like to do with a lot of our custom sites is we like to throw in a little bit of animation. So as you notice, the arrow moves. You can't see my mouse cursor.
I know, that was kind of creepy. I was like, it's just moving.
But when you hover over buttons, a lot of times we will animate the button to create a little bit of motion to it. It makes you aware of where your mouse is at on the screen and what you're clicking on. So, and it creates interest to that item.
Mm-hmm. So, yep. And then coming down after that, so now we have some of the the why choose us, basically. So you got a call to action, let our expert team guide your next roofing project. Another call to action, get a free estimate. And then you have that they have Denver-based roofing, premium service, decades of experience. We have certifications and awards right there, Google 5-star. A nice block call out for this is kind of like a I guess like their brand message, right? Passionate local roofing expert specializing in low slope roofing, single family and multifamily. So everything on this page shows their expertise. It highlights their portfolio. It highlights their awards. It highlights the things that a customer is going to make a quick decision about. Is this a professional company? And they do it within, what do we say, 1/800th of a second? It's very fast.
It's almost instantaneous that we make a decision, a first impression with people or a service or a company. And so, you have to put your best foot forward right away, so that people want to seek more information.
Absolutely.
So as we get down to the bottom here, a couple important pieces. A map is something that you should have all over your site that shows where you're located at, where you offer your services at. So definitely super important there. If your site doesn't have it, there are a ton of Google plugins out there for different maps to be able to plug maps right into your site. So even if you're using a form builder site, they usually have a plugin that'll work with it, so you can pull that map into it as well.
Yep. In this particular instance, we designed from Google JSON coding the color scheme and everything to make it a live interactive map. So if you click on that plus or minus item over there on the right, you'll be able to zoom in and zoom out. It actually pops up with the pin right there. And then you can click on the business, and it should pop up let's try that, see if it, no. Yeah. Oh, I limited that, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could drag the person and see a street view, which is great. And then pops up with some stuff. So it's a very interactive custom map right there. So that was fun.
Yeah. All kinds of cool tools there. And then last but not least, super important on every site is to have a footer that is consistent throughout the site as well. So it should have your logo, your name, your business address, your phone number on it. You should definitely have your social links on there as well. And then it should have a basic site map as well. It doesn't have to reference, if you have 50 pages on your site because you got a whole bunch of blogs and other stuff on there, does not have to reference every single one of those. We like to do quick links quite a bit. So it's just the key services that the company is focused on.
And the customer that's scrolling on mobile can go down and they see commercial, residential, roof claim, about us. That's all they really need. The phone number is right there, so they could just click to call, and there's call to actions throughout the whole page for them to fill out a form if they need to.
Yeah, and what's this little thing at the bottom here that says accept? Let's talk about that, because that's really, really important for regulations now.
Yeah, so last year, Google, and you may have heard of some companies getting actually fined for this, big companies, but the Cambridge Analytica thing with Facebook caused something called the GDPR. I forget the exact acronym for it, but it's called GDPR, and it's a regulation based on the privacy, right? It's probably the gross domestic privacy restriction or something. It's a compliance, but it's basically saying that if you visit the website tracks cookies, which is used for retargeting, used for data analytics, used for all that kind of stuff. And so your website at minimum should have some kind of message that can be accepted. And you'll see this on a lot of sites now. Probably, I'd say 5 out of 10 sites you go to have it. Not all of them, but a lot of them. But especially if you're getting traffic from Europe or any country other than the US, it does happen. I mean, we get traffic from Russia, India, UK, where else? Netherlands, we're getting traffic from now on our website. So you definitely want to have that GDPR privacy policy in play. That's a lot of P's, but in play, because you can get run into some issues if you're a bigger company and you don't have that on your website.
Yeah, and it's that is a free plugin as well. So that is something that's free. It's fairly easy to add to your site if you don't currently have it. And there's a lot of ways you can also customize it for colors and all that kind of stuff, so it matches your site as well. So,
Yeah, let's cover super quick, just the menu real quick, and then we can get into some of the results I want to share with everybody here.
So let's talk about the menu. So
Go ahead. Yeah.
So menu is critical to be focused. The core menu, what you see at the top of the screen here is their base menu. It's the top tiers of what they want people to focus on. So home, that's your home page. You should always have an About Us page, and it should always be linked up there. Whatever your services are. So in the case of Modern Roof here, they specialize in commercial and residential roofing. So they wanted highlights on both of those. So we have a separate section for that. Does that mean that you have to do it separately? No. If you want to put them into one menu, we've seen that as well. It just depends on how you want to break your menu out, but your menu items at the top should hit the key areas: a homepage, an About Us, your services, a blog, and a Contact Us page.
Yep. You don't want to put 20 services up there. 5 to 7 is generally, 7's probably the max for top tier headings. And then under that, as you see there, when you hover commercial roofing, you can have the other services that are part of that core service. As long as they're in the menu, that's going to give value to the user.
Yep. So the other thing I think it's really important to point out is, if I click on commercial roofing, it's going to take me to one page. And then also, if I click on all these links here, it'll take me to those specific pages. So when you're thinking about your page design, don't let your heading, your main menu items go nowhere.
Yeah.
Or to an empty page. We see that quite a bit as well. You always want to make sure that those are pointing to something.
Yep, exactly. And I see a lot of times in the menu, like somebody will have the top menu and then they'll have 3 items underneath, but all 3 of those items go to the same page. That's a waste of SEO value, because you want one topic, as we talked about in our previous chats, one topic per page. So if you're gonna stuff 3 topics on one page, it's not gonna help you as much.
Yep. No, I agree with that.
Let's click on one of the pages. So we can show them like the interior.
Yeah,
there we go. So what I like about this page is we have a nice image of the roofing project that they're working on. And as we keep working with them, we're going to add new pictures to the top. But yeah, great content. We got some bold content. We got some links in there. Great picture. It looks fantastic. More links, a block quote, easy to read headers, get your personalized estimate, roof leaks. And then what's that all on the side right there on the right?
Oh, yeah. So this is a really cool plugin. There is some cost to this. So some of these plugins are free. Sometimes they're not. It just depends. But definitely we can help you out with that. Your web service, whoever your web developer is, can also help you out with that and what those costs are. But this is specifically a reviews plugin. So as people are scrolling your site, they're going to see all the great reviews that you get on your site. So it's another thing to provide confidence to the customers or the potential customers and clients that are coming to your site to really build that credibility with them.
Absolutely. I mean, going to a site and not seeing any kind of testimonials or portfolio or work, any of that, like, what's the chance of you doing business with them, And there's a lot of content on this page as you're scrolling down, you could see, but it's divvied up with good, clear headers, good, block quotes and all that stuff. And great job to the actually Garrett over there. He created a lot of this content before we took over. He did a fantastic job creating some good quality content, and we're just elevating that content with style and design. So just, if you have content on your website, just having a redesigned website would change a lot.
Yeah, definitely. The big thing here in thinking about content approach is you don't want to have just that big wall of text, right? So you think about if you think about the pages that you like to go in and read, they have a combination. So they have a lot of different sections in them, or broken up by the headers, like roof coating, and roof coating savings and things like that. But then images and bold text for highlight things is definitely good ways to break that up. But
Bullet points, yeah.
Also, if you look at the length of text in any one block as well, you'll see, really, we try and keep everything, depending on the page, but we try and keep everything 3 to maybe 4 lines at most, because if you start trying to read big paragraphs beyond that, you'll lose people really, really quickly. So, the anatomy of the content itself is you have to be focused on what are people actually going to want to read through.
Yeah, I just studied and they on LinkedIn they call it broetry, right? But I was doing a class with my daughter, and they were going over, it was for literature, and she had to study poetry, and they were like, these poems have 3 lines, they have 575 syllables or whatever, but it's very similar in writing. You want 2 to 3 lines per paragraph. As you can see, I'm looking through this, is like 3 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 3 2 4, kind of 3 in a word. And that really helps to break up the ease of finding the information and knowing what you're looking for. So it's fantastic.
Yep, and adding bullet points or numbered lists is a great way to separate content as well. So last but not least, I think we should talk about the Contact Us page, because I think this is one of those spaces that I think gets lost a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So Contact Us is ultimately one of the key ways your potential clients are going to get a hold of you.
Yep.
So you need to have at least a couple of things on your Contact Us page. You need to have a form that's easy to fill out. Nobody likes filling out a form that has 65 blanks on it. Feels like you're filling out the form at the DMV to get your roof done.
Yep.
So keeping forms simple. This form is really it's really 4 fields, but it's a name, an email address, and a message. Yep. Some companies may segregate out, are you looking for residential roofing services versus commercial roofing services? And that's okay too. But keeping your forms simple on your Contact Us page will get you a lot more form fill outs than complex forms. People also are very protective of information. So keep that in mind as well. If you're asking for phone number and name and address and email address, people are going to be a lot more hesitant to complete that information than if you just have name, email address, and maybe a phone number. I definitely think phone number for certain businesses is relevant, and that's up to you as well. So
yeah, we can maybe add a phone number, but we've done this for quite a few different companies, and we find a very high conversion rate on the form. So the less information you ask of somebody on a quick form when they don't know you, they're just trying to get some basic information, maybe a price quote. They're going to put in, we've seen this in leads and messages on the contact form, but they'll just say, I have a 2,400 square foot house with a roof that I have, architectural shingles that need replacing. They'll tell you everything in the message. You don't have to make, 100 different fields of what type of shingle do you have? How big is your house? Any of that stuff, because they'll put it in there. And if they don't put it in there, you can find out as soon as you call them that information. And so it's not about making the sale right then and there on the contact form and getting all that information and being like, okay, they're ready. It's about them being able to contact you quickly.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. And, that's it. Keep it simple. The KISS philosophy, keep it simple, stupid, right?
Yep.
So other key portions on here is actually having your office location and phone number. This is for SEO value. This is a big piece of SEO value for you. But also, if people are uncomfortable with wanting to fill out the form, they at least have a phone number or a way to get a hold of you as well.
Exactly.
It's not a bad idea to also to think about putting an email on there as well, though it's not always necessary. The ideal way is to have them fill out the form.
Yep. Because with email, you get a lot of spam.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think you get as much if you have a form fill out as if you just provide the email, because then they'll throw you an email list, and then you'll have 100 different companies putting you in their spam email list, versus filling out a form doesn't give people your email. It makes them fill out the form for it. But yeah, and some people would rather just pick up. I'm the type of person, I just rather call. But some people don't like to call, as you said. Some people don't like to fill out a form because they're like, oh, I'm giving them my information, I want to talk to them first. And some people are the other way. They're like, I don't want to talk to you, I want to fill out a form and just have you get back to me because I'm busy or I'm at lunch or whatever. So, or it's 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm at a red light and I need to get this done for my wife, because she's bugging me about getting the roof leak fixed. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd love to go over some of the results. I've downloaded a couple PDFs here real quick. Again, we're just getting started with them, but I can share my screen here. Let me share this over here. Here we go. So let's look at the dashboard real quick. So we started tracking this site. It says the 17th. I believe that was correct. Yep. Yep. So we launched it on the 6th, started tracking on the 17th when we got access to analytics and everything. But as you can see here, the traffic since March, I mean, we were at 112, 341, it jumped in a month just from that change. And then another almost, 70 users. So it's gone up 2,100%, right? But traffic doesn't mean anything if you don't have interest, right? If you have a high bounce rate. Well, their bounce rate also went down a huge amount. It's down to 66%. Pages per session, so people reading actual pages on the site, has gone up 34%. Goal completions have gone through the roof.
So and even I want to pause for just a second. So I think we need to put some terms around bounce rate and pages per session. So pages per session is how many pages on average each person is visiting when they come to your site. The goal would be the higher that number is, the more pages they're seeing, the more they're looking at while they're there. Typically they need to see at least 2 pages typically on your site in order to convert, right? So you want them to see at least your home page or one of your service pages, and then some sort of page with a form on it where they can fill it out so you can get in contact with them. So the close, so 2 is kind of that minimum number. That's ideally where we want to see, see those average pages per session. And with Modern, we're pretty close to that. We're at 1.94, which is pretty solid.
Yep. And when we set up analytics and goals for your company, for their company, we set it at a 2-page minimum. So anything more than 2 pages is a page view goal completion. We'll take a look at that in a minute. But look at these numbers. So page views, the amount of page views went up almost 3,000. The unique visitor page views went up 2,300. I mean, this is all from, they had a site, they had content, they had a presence. They've been in business 3-4 years. Just redoing this site and making it simple and making it easy for Google to read it has bumped these numbers. And of course you might say like, oh, well, what about month 4? It's not going to be up for, 3,000% in month 4 and month 5. No, because that change is so big on that first month. But again, this was before we even started doing SEO work. So this is just the website change has created this pattern right here. Now, we're halfway through the month. So this number is going to continue to rise. And as we post content, it's going to go up even higher. And that's what I got there. So certain pages have certain bounce rates. So it's good to look at that. So the contact page has a high bounce rate, but it's got that's somebody only going to the contact page and then leaving. So they may have filled out a form from that point and found their actual contact information. 123 unique page views.
So unique. So just to put some context around that, unique page views is a unique visitor visiting a page for the first time. So
yes,
that's where you're winning, right? The more unique views you have on your website, that means you're winning, because that means you're acquiring new people to your website. Repeat business is always great. Repeat visitors is always great.
Yep.
You know, and the people that come back 2 or 3 times are definitely going to make a buying decision in the near future. But you know, ultimately, one of the big goals is getting your reach out there. So that's why we look at unique views as being something that's very important.
Yeah, and then coming over here to bounce rate, like, so 49% bounce rate on the homepage. I will tell you, like, probably 80% of the companies we see have a 70 to 80% bounce rate.
Mm-hmm.
So having a 49%, that means for every person that visits the page, the homepage, you got 1 out of 2 people that are really interested, basically, is what that's saying. So half of the people that visit the site are going to more than the homepage to see what they like, which is great, because most, like I said, most companies, you get 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 10 people who actually travel through the site and look at everything. And then I want to look at conversions. So we were talking about conversion rates, and we're just tracking a couple things here. We're tracking page views, we're tracking contact page hits, we're tracking phone calls. Now this is organic, for one. There's no paid campaigns. This is just from a website, right? We did website and we fixed some citational stuff, but this is not with full SEO in force yet. We just wrote 4 pieces this month, right, for them.
Yep.
So, you know, SEO takes a few months. So the pieces you write today for your site, if you make a page for your site and you optimize it for Google, you'll see the effect of that in about 60 to 90 days. You're not going to see it right away. But yeah, we've already seen 108 people, 34 phone calls, and this dollar value, we just put a $10 value, because you figure if it takes 10 people to get to your contact page to get a customer, and that customer is worth $100, a lead, right, is worth $100, then we figure 10 hits a hit is $10 each. So that's kind of how we, so that's not their actual revenue. That's just what we feel the value of that contact page hit is worth. So really good conversion rates on there. 6,400% increase, 200% conversion rate increase just from a new site. So yeah, that's some of the cool stuff we wanted to share with you guys about the site and this app that we use. If you work with us, you get a live dashboard just like this. It shows all your information. It shows your rankings and things like that we can track and see how you're doing with the keywords we've put together for you and things like that. So, yep, just wanted to share that.
Yeah, no, appreciate that. And let's get that. There we go. Perfect. It is important to understand, I think, that a lot of people think that you put up a website today and tomorrow I'm going to be on the first page of Google and, and everything's going to be kosher and I can just leave it go and, set it and forget it, so to speak. But marketing doesn't work that way. Google doesn't work that way. Everything takes time, effort, and energy to continually update and continually add. So, the web page is going to take a little bit of time, 30 to 60 days. You'll start to see some results. Really at that 3 to 4 month mark is really where we kind of see the sweet spot where everything really picks up.
And it goes the other way too. So like if you're doing really freaking awesome with SEO and your rankings are great, you're ranking for 60 keyword number 1, all that stuff, and then you're like, I don't need SEO or marketing anymore. I'm good. I'm at the top. You wait about 4 to 6 months and your competition is going to take over and you're going to wonder where your business went. That's just how it, we have customers all the time that, they're doing AdWords and they're getting, a couple hundred leads a month, whatever. And then they're like, we're good. Our business is established. We're ready to go. We don't need SEO. We don't need AdWords. Not that everybody says this, but I hear it all the time. Not our clients, but I hear it all the time from people like, oh, I've done, referrals for 20 years, things like that. But as soon as you stop doing that, you're not going to see the effects right away. You're going to see it in 2 to 3 months. Just like when Corona hit, we didn't see the effects right away. Yep. It took 2 to 3 months of that economic cycle to shift for us to see the effects of coronavirus. It's the same thing with SEO. It's the same thing with any of your advertising or marketing. It takes time to build and it takes time to decline if you stop it.
Yep. And if you're already seeing that decline, it is too late. You're gonna hit the trough, whether you like it or not. So So
because you'll hit the trough and then it'll take.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so you're going to hit that trough, and then it's going to take another 3 months or so to really start to pick up out of that. So just be aware that don't expect immediate results. You're going to see some results as you grow in those first 60 to 90 days, but don't expect immediate results. It's not just going to be flip a switch and everything's good to go. And likewise, understand that if you stop, the same cycle is going to happen. And if you've already noticed that you're into that cycle, you're going to bottom out, and it's going to take a couple of months to pick it back up. So, keep that in mind too, as you're thinking about where am I spending for my marketing budget? Where am I spending for my digital budgets? And keep that in the back of your mind that it's a 6-month cycle if you stop doing everything.
Yeah, it's about 6 months to build, and 3 months to build and 3 months to drop. So so it takes, but and then it's funny because we've done so many websites now, but the 3 roofing clients that in particular that I always like talk about, which is Modern and Elite and Gold Star, like as soon as we launched our site, it was like 30 days in and we saw hundreds of percent increase, 500% traffic increase, 700%. Why is that? Like, why? You have a website, you have all this content, you have all this stuff, and then you do a new website and your conversions go up, your traffic goes up, your bounce rate goes down. Like, what is causing that?
Well, I think we hit a lot of it at the beginning, at the top of the show here, when we started talking about visual design of the website. And then Google also really likes when you make changes to your site as well. So, so if you've had an established site and you make changes, that's why blog posts and service pages and all that stuff is important on the back end once you have a really great site. But that's really that's the key. When we see the uptick, because A, we've made a bunch of changes, and B, we've made it easier for potential clients to get the information that they want, the information that they need to make a decision.
Yep. So we've covered the anatomy of a website. We've covered how to build increase conversions with simplifying your site, getting rid of the clutter. White space is your friend, right? Good visuals. We've covered some of the data that we've seen as a case study for our most recent client that their site's been up barely. I think we're in 90 days right now.
Yeah.
We've already seen huge gains. They're getting phone calls. They're telling us that they never got before, increased number of calls, and they're happy with that. And so, it's all that stuff it basically is proving here that a website is not just an online brochure anymore, right?
Yep. No, 100% I agree. So much beyond just an online brochure. People are making very critical buying decisions off of websites now.
So you would say it's more of it's a system.
It is a system.
Yep.
Marketing, sales, all that needs to work together, and that's number one thing that we see a lot, especially with the bigger companies that have a separate marketing and sales team, is they are on like 2 different planets.
Yep.
So your sales team should know the website in and out. They should be using the website as a tool. It's really a great tool for them to use out in the field, to show pictures and talk a little bit more about the different things that you do. So it's a great tool for that. So that my advice, honestly, is once you have that really stellar webpage, teach your team how to use it as a tool within your sales system.
Yeah, I've seen the best salespeople will send, if you wrote a blog on something like types of roofing, they'll send it over to the client while the client's making that decision and getting awareness. They'll send that blog over to the client so the client can read through. And then when the salesperson shows up at the door, they have, okay, here, you read our blog. I glanced at it. Okay, so you got an idea. Yeah, I got an idea. All right, here's our actual samples, touch, feel, these samples, see what you want on your roof. And then it's go time, because 80% of that sales process has been done because they viewed the website, they viewed the blog, they saw that you were a professional brand, and they engaged with you. So most of the work is done. If they fill out that contact form, they've already made that decision that you're the company. You just have to close the deal, basically.
Give them the why. Give them the why us, and sign on the dotted line.
Sign on the dotted line. So we make it sound simple. It really is, but it's a lot of work. It's the things that are simple aren't always necessarily easy.
Yes.
I think I'm quoting Jim Rohn wrong, but basically, getting rich is easy, but it's also easy not to do, right? The things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. Yep.
Exactly. No, I agree with that wholeheartedly. If business was easy to master, then everybody would be in business for themselves. So.
Yep.
But where can they find us, Josh?
MyRoofingSEO.com. We've just revamped our website ourselves recently, just to make it easier and more congruent. There's only a few sections on the page. It's very, very simple. You can call us at 561-231-0421. Yep. And Adam is on Facebook, Adam Baum, Adam Sinkus, Josh Russo. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook. Adam's on LinkedIn. Yeah, we're on everything.
Yep. We're on everything. Come find us. We're not hard to find. Google search me, send up smoke signals, whatever you need to do.
Morse code and smoke signals. I need your help. But yeah, no, you've done good with your SEO too, man. You got like 4 pages when you type in Adam Sinkus. I'm impressed.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, I do have 4 pages. I do have the advantage of having a little more of a unique name, so that helps out a little bit. Josh Russo. If your name is even close to somebody that's famous, it's a bit more of a challenge.
Yeah.
But
I have 20 people with the same name. Even on Twitter, there's my name's already taken by 4 different profiles. It's man. But anyway, yeah, go ahead. I digress.
But being out there and being on social, all that stuff is important to your SEO as well. So it all works together with your web page. It's not a one or the other. It's an everything. So
that's a good topic for next time. We should talk about the SEO ranking factors, because social signals is one of those.
I agree. So I think we have our topic for next week, unless we get a surprise guest lined up.
Yep.
But that will be back next week, next Wednesday. I'm not sure exactly what time yet, but we'll send out our smoke signals on all our social channels. And just you can follow us #MyRooferSEO, and we'll make sure we put that on all of our posts for the live for next week. But appreciate everybody's time. Catch us on the replay. You can also catch the replays on YouTube as well.
Yep.
So it'll be there. It's actually being broadcast there now as well. So appreciate everybody's time. Josh, I appreciate you as always.
You, man. Yep.
So we will see you all next week.
Have a good one.